The movie that no one thought would ever be made, Top Gun Maverick, released in 2022 and is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who has also directed such films like Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and Only the Brave. And of course, this film cannot be made without it starring Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Glenn Powell, Louis Pullman, and Ed Harris. It has been 30 years since the events of the very first Top Gun film, and Maverick is still a captain in the U.S. Navy, but he's still a hothead fighter pilot that a lot of the higher-ups still don't respect or like at all. So now they're punishing him even more to downgrading him to instructor at the Top Gun Academy. But while there, he's tasked with training the best of the best of the best in the world in carrying out what seems to be a very impossible mission to take out some nuclear bombs in a foreign country somewhere. And the only one who can teach it is Tom Cruise's Maverick. Oh, and Miles Teller is here. He's the son of Goose, who Maverick killed in the first film accidentally. So there's drama. The first film came out 36 years ago, and it was such a huge success. It was one of the instrumental films when it came to identifying what is known as a blockbuster, and its action sequences were very innovative. How, within the 36-year period, how there was not a Top Gun 2 with Tom Cruise, or one of those direct-to-VHS or direct-to-DVD, like, spin-off sequels where it's like, hey, it is Top Gun 2, but no one from the original came back to star in it, but we're just gonna slap on a name and call it Top Gun 2. How did that never happen? That happens with every action film from the 80s and the 90s. Backdraft, that came out, I believe, in like 1991, that got a frickin' sequel. Backdraft! So the fact that this is the only sequel to Top Gun it's impressive, and I'm so happy that it is the only sequel, because this film far surpasses the original. The original is cheesy, 80s fun. Tom Cruise was establishing himself as this main force in the action industry, but he was still finding himself. He didn't get into a rhythm of who he was or how he wanted to market himself when it came to action film. Plus, that one had a very limited soundtrack, where they really only used 2 songs and then the theme of Top Gun. Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away, and then the Top Gun theme. They would repeat those 3 songs over and over and over again. I'm so happy to say in this movie, they have a much more extensive soundtrack, and it made me very happy. Yes, the film opens with Danger Zone. You kinda have to, because that's the whole staple of Top Gun. You have to open with that, but we never hear Take My Breath Away. Thank God. And on that note, Tom Cruise with Jennifer Connelly in this film, they have way more chemistry with each other than Tom Cruise did with Katie McGillis back in 1986. That's just awkward. With the whole elevated levitation sex scene with the blue lighting. How did that happen? I don't know. It took my breath away. No, I'm kidding. Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise, that would actually take my breath away, because Jennifer Connelly looks fine. And I also feel that this film has a better structure and a better build to a climax, whereas the first film was all about, it's Top Gun, so you're trying to be the best of your class, and whoever's going to be the best of your class is going to be the best in the world, and that's it. And then it kind of has this shoehorned in, dogfight thing at the end that was really for nothing. Here, from the moment we start, you are teaching these young cadets how to pull off this, what seemingly is an impossible mission, and everything that is done in this film is building up to that moment. I appreciate that as a fan and as an audience member. Like, okay, we're building to something. We're not just watching a couple of guys on the beach playing volleyball with each other to see whose cock is bigger than the other one. I appreciate this movie. Even though we do have a lot of muscled up guys playing football on the beach in this film too, you kind of have to. And I feel that this film is an opportunity for closure for Tom Cruise with the character of Maverick. Maybe not Tom Cruise, like having closure with the film. I'm sure Tom Cruise was just fine with Top Gun. But when Tom Cruise is looking at the character that he created, Maverick, there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things that were just not resolved with the first Top Gun. That being really the fallout of the accidental death of his wingman, Goose. In the first film, yes, he had troubles processing it and quit the academy and then came back and everything seemed to be fine. But after you lose your best friend, that takes a toll on you after many years, especially 36 years. And here it's all coming to a head again when Miles Teller comes in as the son of Goose, who, my God, looks exactly like him. That is perfect casting. Well done. He is little baby Goose. He's a gooseling. A gosling? He's not Ryan Gosling, but aren't they goslings? Aren't they? Whatever. Moving on. Do we get cheesy dialogue in here like we did in the 80s? Oh, absolutely. Especially between Maverick and Rooster, who's the call sign of Goose's son, sticking with the bird themes. And are there cheesy, like, fist-pumping moments in the air between the two? Yes, absolutely. But it's still a lot of fun. And plus, the action sequences in here are just frickin' incredible. They were innovative for the 80s, absolutely. I definitely respect it back then, but coming here to 2022, you have to up the ante. And my god, these action scenes, the cameras that are in the actual fighter jets, seeing Tom Cruise actually in the cockpit, it looks fantastic. Like, you feel like you're in the action, being thrown and all over the place, barrel rolled all over the place. And there's also something in here that I don't want to spoil for people that haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to put the warning up here right now. Spoiler warning. There's a scene in here that I absolutely love, I want to talk about. I'll put the timestamp in here so you can skip ahead to when I'm not talking about the spoilers, but just give you a second here. 3, 2, 1... Here we go. Okay, so there is a scene. I was so happy that it happened because I didn't think it was going to. We get to see the Iceman. And it's so rare. Val Kilmer does so rare appearances, and if he does an appearance, he's curtained off. He was at a Comic-Con here in Detroit a couple of years ago before the whole pandemic, and his whole area was blocked off just due to his condition. He's self-conscious about it. I completely understand, so I was shocked when we actually got to see him in here. I thought he was just going to be talked about. Maverick was texting him at the beginning of the film, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a way to have his character in here, but it's definitely not going to happen. Oh my god, there's Val Kilmer on screen. And that scene is picture perfect beautiful. It's the best scene of the movie. It's one of the best scenes that I've seen in at least the last 5 years, maybe the last decade, because Iceman is trying to save his voice, so he's typing it on a computer screen, and Tom Cruise is there basically doing the scene with himself, but Kilmer is there just staring at him, and you see that emotion in his eyes, and it got me teary-eyed just seeing him on screen again. Seeing these two on screen again was freaking beautiful. And then he actually spoke and gave the motivation for Maverick, and I was so thankful that this film actually got to be made when it did, because, you know, with Val Kilmer's condition, we don't know how long we have with him. So it was nice for him to actually be here and to kind of close out, because he was a big part of the original Top Gun film too. You don't have Top Gun with just Tom Cruise. You had Val Kilmer in there as well. So happy to see both of them in there. Spoiler talk is over. Wrapping up here, I think this film is a ton of fun. Is there, like, cheesy dialogue and cheesy situations, cheesy back and forths between people measuring their dicks? Yeah, absolutely. That's what they had in the first Top Gun, but the action scenes, the emotional scene that I just talked about in the spoiler section, were picture perfect, and it's great cinema. It's great fan service, but it's beautiful fan service, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to give Top Gun Maverick 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So guys, if you've seen Top Gun Maverick, what did you think about it? Which one do you prefer more? Do you prefer the original Top Gun, or did this one take your breath away like it did me? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.